Today we're going to be taking a look back at Odyssey. This was the return of the graveyard. Started making the graveyard like sort of a mechanic. You could flash things back. They had Threshold. Start off with Roar of the Worm. For 7 mana, it was a sorcery that put a 6/6 green worm creature token into play. And for a flashback, you paid 4 mana and you got another 6/6 green worm. It was one of the earliest signs of actually creating, what's it called? Card advantage. So if you didn't learn card advantage, you might have learned card advantage through flashback. Cast your card and get to cast it all over again. Toads with the squirrel mob. This is like a virtual squirrel set for toads out here today. And I think also was highly appreciated. Oh, they reprinted it in modern. Where's the original? The original squirrel mob. They wouldn't dare change that picture either. The 3 mana 2/2 squirrel. Squirrel mob gets +1/+1 for each other squirrel in play. You combine this with the squirrel nest, you got a mob on your hands. Holy crap, my favorite old bordered set. I was even there for pre-release. Man, I was so bad back then. It's like, you know, they build these mechanics around flashback and threshold, and I'm like, oh, this is all meaningless. Anyway, I didn't build a deck around any of those things at all. My deck basically did nothing. Back in the day, Nikachu always went 0-3 in his pre-release. Didn't know a damn thing. We got Christopher B with Pardic Firecat. I'd love to go back in time with everything that I know today. The 4 mana 2/3 Hasty Cat. And when Pardic Firecat is in a graveyard, Flame Burst's effect counts it as a Flame Burst. What is Flame Burst again? Oh, this is an actual card. This is like a card that directly references another card. Instant deals X damage to target creature or player where X is 2 plus the number of Flame Burst cards in all graveyards. So I guess between 4 Flame Bursts and 4 Pardic Firecats, you could deal an entire 8 damage. It's possible. Or is it one? Hold on, is 1 X? Oh, sorry, it's 2 plus. Oh, could do more. 7 plus 2, that's 9. That's crazy. Just build your deck around Pardic Firecat and Flame Burst. Do we have bingo card? Sorry, no bingo card for the stream. Okay, we got Meme Bruley with Tainted Pack, CDH staple, even by today. There are a lot of staples in Odyssey that we still see today. One of them is the Tainted Pact, a 2 mana instant. Remove the top card of your library from the game, and you may put that card into your hand, unless it has the same name as another card removed this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand, or you remove 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. It's basically a card that just says, I'd like to do a magic trick. I'd like to make my entire deck disappear. At least back in the day, it was like sort of a tutor. No one tutors with this in Commander, right? Right? Like, that's impossible. You can't remove cards from the top of your deck and find another card with the same name. That'll never happen. Killer Slay. I did at the time. The deck sucked, unsurprisingly. What the, you're talking about the Pardic Firecat? Well, what if you rebuild it today with all the knowledge you have right now, and with intuition or something to put more cards in the graveyard? Okay, we got Jasper Rat. What's so fun? We got to rate these cards. This card's an absolute banger. It's an absolute banger. Okay, we got Jasper Rat with Mine Lair. What's up with Mine Lair? Is a 4 mana 1/1 dwarf. Pay 2 mana, tap. Put a mine counter on target land. Whenever a land with a mine counter on it becomes tapped, we're destroying it. Now, when Mine Lair leaves play, remove all mine counters from all lands. This card has to be like a stinker. I don't know what it is with, but it doesn't destroy artifacts. Jasper's Rab. I thought you liked the artifact. I thought you liked Chandler cards. This is more of a Stone Rain-like card. With that, it's not even forcing you to Stone Rain yourself. You can just tap some other mana to kill this thing. It's only 1/1. It's a puny little dwarf, tiny dwarf over here. 1 toughness. Gonna get blown away in the wind. Okay, old boy is like, I'm a real sucker for the Karmic Guide. Sorry, Karmic Justice. When I think of Karmic Justice. The only Karmic card I know is Karmic Guide. Okay, Karmic Justice, 3-mana enchantment. Well, we need to see the OG. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls destroys a non-creature permanent you control, you may destroy target permanent of that opponent controls. An eye for an eye. You blow up my thing, I have full right to blow up your thing. It is Karmic Justice. This is just actually just justice in general. Hexenort. Oh yeah, this card, I like it. It's some good insurance over there. Hexenort with the Chamber of Manipulation. Chamber of Manipulation is a 4-mana enchant land. Enchanted land has tap, discard a card from your hand, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Enchanted land has tap, discard a card from your hand, gain control. Oh, it's mind control on a land. Discard. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. The only vulnerability is like if is like strip mine. You just put this on a basic land. Enchanted land has just tap, discard a card, gain control. Oh, sorry, it's only until end of turn. No, I got it. Oh yeah, that's the clause. That was the fine line, the fine printing. No, God, please, it's still not that bad. Still not that bad, but it's not as good as I thought it was. I thought it was just constant mind control. Discard a card, swipe your creature. Discard another card, swipe another creature. Have I never heard of this card before? Okay, next up, we've got Fozzie with Call the Herd. Call of the Herd. Now, I have a story about this card, because it was an absolute bombshell at the time. It doesn't make any sense. 3 mana, sorcery, put a 3/3 elephant into play, flashback for 4 mana, get another 3/3 elephant. Back then, these 3/3s, they were broken. Just two creatures in one card. That was enough to win games back in the day. So it was like the bombshell rare every deck needed to have. Someone at the pre-release opens a foil Call of the Herd. And then I decide I'm going to make an offer to this. I'm going to make an offer to this person that they can't refuse. I'm like, I want to buy your Call of the Herd. And they're like, how much you want to pay? I don't remember what I offered, to be honest. I think it's between $25 and $50. Maybe I said $35. And they're all I remember is their eyes opened up wide and they're like, deal. And they're like, and the kids, all the kids around, they're like nodding their head. Yeah, that's amazing. Even to this day, I have no idea if I ripped myself off or not. Back then, I mean, it was the pre-release. I didn't have time to look up Scryfall if Call of the Herd was any good. Now, interestingly enough, Call of the Herd these days sucks. I mean, it's really bad. No one would play this card by today's standards. If anyone knows if I made a good deal. No, I don't think I sold the card, so it's probably worthless today. So I definitely lost in the long run. I'd pay $35 for it. That's good. You know what? That makes me feel a little bit better. All right, Ecos. Thanks so much for your super chats. Patron Wizard, a blue player's dream. I love Patron Wizard. The only problem is there's not enough like wizard decks to use this on. The blue 2/2 wizard. Tap and untap wizard you control. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Now this card was good because like the wizard could have summoning sickness. That's okay. That's summoning. That wizard that came out, it doesn't have the ability. Patron Wizard has the ability. It's like a zombie. You just play a wizard, tap it, get its ability. But at the same time, it's a daze is a daze. So unless they're tapping out, it's really hard to make use of this thing. I still like the card, but I'm completely biased towards blue. Oconfra says, Nikachu live. I watch all your AI videos. They are fantastic. First time here, live. Just love your content. Thanks so much, Oconfra. And also I'd love some feedback. Should we be moving the AI content also to my main channel? I'm feeling that maybe I'm missing out on some views making AI content on my main channel. For anyone that even knows that I have a main channel. Call the Herd is $1.45. Oh yeah. Make no mistake. But in foil? Maybe even in foil. I don't think I even had it in mint condition anyway. Okay, we got Shane with Buried Alive. Buried Alive? Did Buried Alive and Entomb come in the same set? Buried alive. There's people buried alive in here. Hold on, buried alive. Did they reprint this in Odyssey? They didn't. Oh, they did actually. This is reprint. 3-mana sorcery. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards. Put them into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. That must have been a banger card in the set at the time. Because you got to enable your threshold. You need to get to seven cards in your graveyard, baby. And when you get that 7 cards in your graveyard, all of a sudden everything upgrades. You've upgraded your entire deck. You're not cool unless you got your full graveyard. It's not about how many cards you have in your hand, it's how many cards are in the graveyard. That's what Buried Alive did for you. And also you could reanimate some damn thing from it. By today's standards, I think this is, I guess this is, I want to say this card sucks, but it's like just black intuition, right? It's literally black intuition. Buried Alive. Oh, Buried Alive. So hot right now. I don't know if it's hot right now. I'm not a graveyard player, all right? I don't fill my... The only thing I fill my graveyard with is counter spells. Gustav says, the John Finkel card Shadow Maze Infiltrator, now power crept by Psychic Frog. The card wasn't that good in the first place, all right? I was there back in the day. Did it see play back then? Yes. Did it see play much outside of Standard? No. 3 mana for a 1/3 wizard. Can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. When Shadow Mage Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. I love the effect. I love the idea. Problem with splashing back was always a pain. You know, people's the lands back then, it wasn't perfect yet. It was not refined. There's no reason to move out of mono blue or blue white or blue red. Anyway, blue black was a bit. It was only easy because of Psychotog decks back then, but anyway, the card is just aging like sour milk, even more like sour milk. We need John Finkel to win another invitational and make a new card. Jason with Nomad Stadium. Oh, yeah, so my review of Shadow Mage Infiltrator, not very good by today. Fear is basically Chandler? No. Okay, Nomad Stadium. Loving the lands. Tap. Add a white to your mana pool. Nomad Stadium deals 1 damage to you. Threshold. So you have 7 cards in your graveyard. Pay a white, sacrifice Nomad Stadium to gain 4 life. It's not really that good of an effect overall, in my opinion. Its best ability is, I mean, it's just like a pain land. It's like all pain, no gain. You're probably going to take more damage from this thing than you gain in life. It's so contradictory to like what it's meant to do. I'm going to gain you some life, but first I'm going to deal the crap load of damage to you. Also, you have to sacrifice the land to get that life back. You know what doesn't do that? Basic Plains. Basic Plains! Seen since beta. Alpha and beta. Beanpot with Haunting Echoes. Oh, really? That came from this set. Haunting Echoes. Let's get the one from Odyssey. The creepy priest person looking. The Dark Priest. 5 mana, sorcery. Remove all cards in target player's graveyard other than basic land cards from the game. Search that player's library for all cards with the same name as cards removed this way and remove them from the game. Then that player shuffles their library. That sounds terrible. Remove all cards in target players. This is so bad in Commander. Now, in 60-card Magic, it might be a bit different. It's just like a weird, bad lobotomy. The problem is it's too expensive. You'd be better off just playing like one of those 3 mana cards that you just search their hand, their library, and their graveyard for that name, and then just remove them all out. To get them out of the game completely. I think that would work better. So I think this card did not stand the test of time. We got Pollyanna with Traumatize. Still traumatizing people. 5 mana for a sorcery. Target player puts the top half of their library rounded down into the graveyard. So for those who want to mill somebody out, hold on, this was an Odyssey. Let's see the OG one. So for anyone who wants to mill somebody out, this is the 2-card combo. Mill half their deck and get something else that will equally mill them for the number of cards put into their graveyard this turn. Or actually, is it going to trigger those effects? I imagine so. Like, I think so. How else are you going to mill somebody in Commander? You need your Traumatized. And then you need to flash it back a few more times. Oh, I didn't think about this. You could use this on yourself in Odyssey. Because it says target player. You could target yourself, dump half your deck into the graveyard. Boom! We got Threshold. We got Flashback. It's all online. All right, next up, we've got Mega Dredge. Oh, remember, you don't draw any cards out of that. No drawn cards. Kano, Iridescent Angel. Got reanimated back then. We just scooped. It was that good, huh? Okay, it is a 7-mana 4/4 Angel, flying, protection from all colors. Ah, yes! What is comparable to this today? Iona? Maybe not Iona. Maybe Iona. Maybe it was the Iona of the time. Now, it didn't prevent you from playing cards, but, you know, basically, it's protection from all colors. Were there edict effects back then? There were. It was not completely invincible. It wasn't very... You're not going to be happy to see this thing. That's all I'm going to say. We've got Nomad Stadium and Cephalid Coliseum is like healing salve to Ancestral Recall. Now, hold on. Whoa. What are we saying about Cephalid Coliseum? Did you know that this card actually sees competitive play? Now, this is tap out of blue, deal 1 damage to you, but this is like what... This is the graveyard filling card, because you can go Threshold, pay blue, sacrifice it, target player draws 3 cards, discards 3 cards from their hand. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing up this card. I'm thinking of Halimar Depths. This card, yeah, it was Ancestral Oh, yeah, now I understand what you're trying to say. Nomad Stadium was to Healing Salve what Cephalid Coliseum was to Ancestral Recall. And we all know how that panned out historically. Healing Salve did not go very far. Ancestral Recall is worth thousands of dollars. And likewise, Cephalid Coliseum... Okay, hold on. I have prices here. We have Cephalid Coliseum at $5.32. Let's look at the Nomad Stadium. Actually, the price ratio is not that bad. So if I get myself out of the way here, it's 36 cents. So 36 cents for Nomad Stadium, $5.34. I think that is a actually tighter ratio than what actual Healing Salve is to actual Ancestral Recall. So get your Ancestral Recall at home. Next up, we've got some super chats. We've got from Steve Cooper, Mirari. Sorry about that. I clicked 2 super chats. This is 2 super chats at the same time. Hey, it's the set symbol. And also donate 1 to chat. Thank you very much, Steve Cooper. I never really... I remember at the time that I didn't understand this card. I didn't know why this would be any good. 5 mana, legendary artifact. Whenever you play an instant or sorcery spell, you can pay 3. If you do, put a copy of that spell in the stack. You may choose new targets for the copy. I think this is a type of card that aged better over time. I want to say this card saw no play back then. Like, why do you want to sink 5 mana into this thing to then pay another 3 mana in the future? That's just completely bonkers. Definitely more in line with Commander. They were like thinking of Commander way ahead of time. We already did Karmic Justice. Thanks so much, iDucky. Okay, let's get... Ooh, Decimate. This is a card that for years I was getting wrong. So this originally came out in Odyssey? It did. It looks broken at first. 4 mana for a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, and land. 4 in 1? That's absolutely bonkers. That thing slaps. It slays. You know, it's low... I don't know if I can call it low-key. I mean, the thing is just skibbity insane. No cap. But the problem is you need targets for all these targets. You need targets for all these targets, or the card does nothing. You need an artifact. You need a creature to target. You need an enchantment, and you need a land. You can always tell someone, "Oh, what is that over there? Is that an enchantment? Have you fulfilled the 4 pieces of the anti-Exodia?" Well, I'm about to blow them all up. It doesn't decimate though. You know, I don't know what decimate. What is decimate? You think decimate is exiling? It could be. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Toilet Duck's Escape Artist. Oh wait, decimate. That was the. Was that the super chat? No. That was the donation. Okay, Escape Artist, 2 mana for a 1/1 wizard. Escape Artist is unblockable. Pay a blue, discard a card from your hand, return Escape Artist to its owner's hand. A regular Houdini over here. Not even my shadow knows where I am. Well, there is no shadow if you're in the darkness all the time. That evening, Nikachu, how's the weather? You're the second person to ask me about the weather. Dwarven Shrine is an all-time head scratcher. Anyway, Escape Artist. Not particularly good by today's standards. Let's take a look at Dwarven Shrine. From the dim. Decimate equals reduced by 1/10. Is that an actual definition? Dwarven Shrine, the 3-mana enchantment. Whenever a player plays a spell, Dwarven Shrine deals X damage to that player, where X is twice the number of cards in all graveyards with the same name as that spell. Oh, no. It was looking really promising, and now it's basically like, in our Commander world, this is terrible. Odyssey! Not doing Commander any favors so far. A lot of this, you have multiples of this card, because I guess that was the idea. I mean, they didn't have Commander in mind back then. If you're gonna dump your deck into the graveyard, or vice versa, dump someone else's deck, then that's going to turn on multiples of the same card. What if they made Commander, but you could have, I don't know, 6x of everything? And I'm gonna play that format. We have another person asking me about the weather. And honestly, the weather's not bad. There's no snow on the ground yet. But honestly, it's not common to have snow at this time yet. Anyway, okay, Ecos, the Filthy Cur. Black having a bear is expensive. That's weird. Not bears. It's not even a bear. It's a hound. Oh, I've got a sound effect for that. It's a 2-mana 2/2 hound. Whenever Filthy Cur is dealt damage, you lose that much life. That's terrible! This is, it's like, what is this comparable to? It's like Phyrexian Negator, almost. If my Phyrexian Negator takes damage, I lose, for whatever reason. If my hound takes damage, I also lose. It's a doge, yeah, it's a doge. Yeah, don't buy this. Don't buy this. This is a shit coin over here, all right? You do not buy into this thing. Why is it even... Why? It's 8 cents. Why? Is that like the cost to keep it on, like, in stock? It should... Like, some cards out there, I'm like, it should be worth 0. Nothing. Nada. Zip. They should be giving it away. It should be... The price should be inverted. It should be like -8 cents. They're willing to give it to me for free. Okay, next up, let's take a look at... Well, Negator, you sacrifice permanents, but you still lose life here. Whenever it's dealt down, because the point is, if it takes damage, I'm big sad face. That's just how it is. King Ginger with the Aegis of Honor. Okay, we got a white enchantment. Pay 1, sorry. The next time an instant or sorcery spell would deal damage to you this turn, that spell deals that much damage to its controller instead. All the red burn players at the time, probably looking at this. How many Circle of Protection reds does there need to be? It was probably like how it was back in the day. They were like printing so many hate cards for like mono red. It was a never-ending story. I'm in a holy passage here in the Great MTG Cards channel. What is that? Is that a card? Holy Passage? You're trying to cleverly send me a card over here? Nope. That card does not exist. Shane with the Gorilla Titan. Oh, I need a banana this big. The 5-mana 4/4/8, but trample. But it gets +4/+4 as long as there are... Oh, there's no cards in your graveyard. That's like a challenge impossible. Challenge level impossible. In that day and age, at that time, what am I supposed to do? Play Rest in Peace at the same time as this thing? They wouldn't print Rest in Peace for like another 12 or 15 years. It's quite a while. They had to wait, yeah, they had to wait maybe 10 years. Maybe 10 years. We did Call the Herd, Demanger. Call the Herd was done. Gustav, feeling up. This is the OG of Upheaval. Upheaval, unban hype. Oh yeah, because I heard Wizards is taking control of the ban list. They're gonna take a good look. They're gonna do some detective work. Is Upheaval worth unbanning? I would say no. I have no idea why a Commander game would want this thing unbanned. Frankly, I think all these game reset cards are terrible. They're just absolutely god-awful in Commander. Even if you like long games. Like, do you really like a 5-hour-long game? There's got to be something. I played a 2-hour game. That's not bad, but at very close to the end of a 2-hour game, if someone upheavaled, I would be just, God, just shoot me now. It'd be over. I'd be just like, okay, do you know what? I scoop. You're right. I am gonna scoop. I'm gonna scoop all my permanents and my life total. John, impulsive maneuvers. It also came from Odyssey. Okay, we have a 4-mana enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks, we get to flip a coin. If you win the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. If you lose the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, prevent that damage. Heads, you deal double. Tails, you stay at home, basically. I don't know, it seems terrible, but maybe in a coin flip deck you can make it work. Basically, like, I don't know, this plus Krark's Thumb is like all your creatures 75% of the time have double strike, I guess. Maybe, if I understand this correctly. Wild Mongrel. That is a name I have not heard in a really long time. Wild Mongrel used to be almost the standard for how good a card was at 2 mana. The 2-mana 2/2 Hound, discard a card. Wild Mongrel gets +1/+1 and becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. I think maybe I don't understand history, or maybe I don't remember history well enough. I think this was like the Tarmogoyf at the time. This was like what a lot of cards at 2 mana basically. You suggested what? All right, I'm out. Suggested Wild Mongrel 20 times. You never picked it up. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. Maybe I should have the thing on slow mode. Anyway, well, you got. I'll give you some credit for it now. 2 mana for it. Anyway, I think this was like the standard for how big a creature was at 2 mana. You know, if it was either like a little bit better or a little bit worse than a wild Mongrel. And then Tarmogoyf came by, and now everyone just like judges everything based on the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, even works with Tarmogoyf. Yeah, you can fill the graveyard with Tarmogoyf. Mongrel was so good. Lots of removal would target the non-black creatures, and also is good at filling your graveyard. And again, you get the value. Discard cards that you can cast with flashback from the graveyard, and boom. All right, you heard the music. That means it's time to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. Oh yes, the Fusion Open. If you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Fusion Open from November 2nd to the 3rd of 2024. They're going to have Commander, they're going to have Modern, they're going to have Pioneer. Where do I find the deal of the week this week? There's always a deal of the week every week, but I don't know if it's so easy to find now. They've updated the website and everything. But outside of that, this is my favorite place to go buy. Oh, we're back. This is where you go. I buy my Magic the Gathering cards, singles, sealed product, and more. But don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. This is very important because not only does it get you 5% off all your purchases, but it also supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format you want on Magic Online, including Commander, by the way. Believe it or not, you can play against random people digitally online. There's plus and minuses to that, all right? The rules are going to be enforced, but it might take forever, but it exists. And they have dual Commander. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below to rent any deck you want on Magic Online. Coupon code Nikachu _QTP for 10% off your first 2 months. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to the wild mongrel stuff. Okay, let's get to a super chat from King Ginger. Balancing Act. Okay, Balancing Act. This is a white 4 mana sorcery. Each player chooses a number of permanents they control equal to the number of permanents controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Each player discards cards from their hand the same way. Isn't this just like Diet Balance? I think it's like Diet Balance, only to equal the number of... Oh, no, it's permanents, though. So, okay, we gotta downsize, all right? We all gotta be equals around here. Whoever got a little too much, well, they're gonna have a lot less in a few seconds, and we're gonna do the same thing with cards. But the thing is, with the cards, it could actually backfire. The card thing can backfire because you, well, I mean, if they can use the cards from the graveyard, the person who uses their cards from the graveyard the best is gonna win over here. We did Roar the Worm too! So, you love those flashback worms, don't you? Flashback cards were great at the time. Acting like it's balanced. Yeah! You know, it's not too bad. Nondescript cat. Toilet Duck with Predict. Who doesn't have a card yet? We got 2 mana instant. Choose a card name. Then target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. If the card has the chosen name, you draw 2 cards. Otherwise, you draw a card. Actually, still 100% playable old formats. People like to play this in Legacy, and definitely it's playable in... It's basically 2 mana, draw 2 in Commander. There's tons of times. Scry something to the top of your deck. Oh, what is this? It was a Plains. How could I have predicted that? Yeah, we did Cephalid Coliseum. We've done a lot of the... We haven't done every banger, but we've done a lot of them. Benjamin! The Verdant Succession. This was the 5 mana enchantment. Whenever a green non-token creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may search their library for a card with the same name as that creature and put it into play. Now, if that player does, they shuffle their library. Whenever a green non-token creature is put into a graveyard... Oh, I see. Okay, so when your green creature dies, search your library for another one and put it directly back onto the battlefield. Again, another card aged like absolute milk. Like, I'm pretty sure, right? So I may search their library for a card. Yeah, it has to be the same name. It has to be non-token, too. So there's, like, basically no way of making this useful in Commander. And it definitely doesn't see any competitive play, that's for sure. Is it a regen? You're considering this a regenerate card? 5 mana regenerate spell at sorcery speed? Solid. Well, in 60 card formats though. You gotta have 60 cards. You need to have more you need to have more than 1 copy in your deck. Otherwise it does nothing. Ben H with Extract. Let's take a look at Extract. The Extract. They take in your brain. It's lobotomy or us over here. Blue Sorcery. Search target player's library for a card and remove that card from the game. Then that player shuffles their library. I would assume... I'm assuming this is not that great. Or maybe it's like Blue Surgical Extraction still. There are decks out there. They only have like 1 good card, and you just want to remove it from the game to basically make the entire combo sort of collapse in on itself. So... Oh god, Ecos. I'm just looking at the super chats. You have to... Ecos, you gotta name something else around here. And you know what? There was like 2 cards that I could have chosen from too at that time. Okay, so Extract. I'm gonna assume this did not age. I don't know. I would never play this card. It's a unique effect. It's got... The mana's right. The price is right, but I'm still not in love with that thing. Okay, we're gonna give Eco super chat to Lesthian. Price of Glory. But Ecos, I'll take a look. I'm going to keep an eye out for you. 3 mana enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana during another player's turn, destroy that land. Love it. Very cool card. Basically, don't tap your lands. If you tap your land, it will be your last. That is the price. It's not even that glorious. It tapped for a single mana. What did you do? I tapped for mana. I did that. It's what they do anyway. Okay, next up, we've got Tier with Careful Study. I forgot this. This card, I mean, it's insane. It's a blue sorcery. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards from your hand. If you're playing with the entire purpose of filling up your graveyard and getting graveyard shenanigans, it might as well be like semi-ancestral recall. It could be looked at like ancestral recall. You draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Some cards are cheaper when they're in your graveyard. You look at the Dredge deck. They play cards for free from their graveyard. So Careful Study is carefully being busted. Next up, let's take a look for... Let's take a super chat from Lord Trevor. Thanks so much for... Y'all been bamboozled. It's bamboozle. Present tense. 3 mana sorcery. Target player reveals the top 4 cards of their library, and you can choose 2 of those cards and put them into their graveyard. Put the rest on the top of their library in any order. Oh, so it's like almost like it reminds me of Brain Surge, Brainstorm. Not it's Brain Surge, right? This is Brain Surge, not Brainstorm. This is basically it. Yeah, it's like draw 4 cards and put 2 cards in your hand on top of your library in any order. This is the same thing, but instead you put 2 of those cards into your graveyard and the rest on top of your library in any order. Interesting. We got Lifage, Psychotog. Is this really where it came from? Psychotog. It's been a while. Ugh, this is disgusting. I hate that image. This one's a lot better. This is I could have this as a pet. I would visit this Psychotog at the zoo. This Psychotog, it looks like an alien from another planet. That's E.T. E.T. wants to go home, and frankly, I don't want to have anything to do with E.T. E.T. asked me for like a bus ticket or something. I'm like, no, I don't have anything. I got nothing. Get away from me. Psychotog, 3 mana for a 1/2 Atog. Discard a card from your hand. Psychotog gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and also remove 2 cards in your graveyard from the game. Psychotog gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, why do they make it so? I don't know. You know, it's like when they change slivers or something. Like the Atogs, they're sort of cute. They're sort of cute, okay? Like I mean, it's not plushy worthy or anything like that, but they're a little adorable. They got a little charm to them. This one is disgusting. It looks like its flesh got peeled. It could be this same one, but with the flesh peeled off. They screwed it up. I always had the urge to bite into Psychotog. Can't explain why. Sort of looks like a big chunk of chocolate, you know? I could see it like that. Something delicious at the center of that Psychotog. Okay, Steve Cooper with Scorching Missile. The Holy Flashback Cannon Batman. Scorching Missile. We got 4 mana sorcery. It deals 4 damage to target player. It's got flashback of 10 mana. You may play this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then remove it from the game. That is a lot of mana for just an additional 4 damage. In fact, the first 4 damage wasn't even worth a whole lot. This is terrible. Basically, 1 mana, 1 damage. The second one, it's 10, but it's like half, 75% of a damage. What is this? Let's get Nikachu's calculator. We're dealing 4 damage divided by 10 mana. 0.4 damage. That's how much damage we're dealing with the Scorching Missile. It's awful. Okay, next up. Did we get my fellow over here? Demolish. Came from this. It was supposed to be a fixed pillage. And got reprinted many times. 1,000,000 times. Yeah, this was the first set. 4 mana sorcery, destroy target artifact or land. I think it saw play at the time, but I mean, by today's standards, like 4 mana, destroy a land or an artifact. 2 thumbs down. We have a lot of better options. It's also strictly worse. It's almost strictly worse pillage. Okay, Z-Man Vader with. Let's look at Nefarious Leech. Printed once and never again. What does that say about you, Leech? Not worth very much around here, are you? 4 mana for an enchantment. If you'd be dealt damage, remove that many cards in your graveyard from the game instead. If you can't, you lose the game. Holy moly. And then if you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. When the Ferris Leech leaves play, you lose the game. I don't know how you win the game here. How do you win? I can totally see my graveyard will never have more life than I do. It's never going to happen. So basically, if I put this in play, I'm going to die. If I put it in play and it leaves play, I'm going to die. If I gain life, which is not going to happen, I might draw cards and then I'm going to die anyway. And gaining life is meaningless because I'm removing cards from my graveyard instead. That was a combo deck back in the day? Interesting, Roman. I never heard of it, to be honest. Okay, next up, super chat from Tyler. Thanks so much for your super chat. We've got the Nimble Mongoose. Legacy staple for like years. This was a green 1/1 that can't be the target spells or abilities. Shroud, baby. And then Threshold gets +2/+2. So you have 7 cards in your graveyard. It's basically a 1-mana Delver that cannot be touched. But here's the problem. I mean, it's not much of a power. It's not a problem. It's power creep. This card got printed in Modern Horizons for Modern. Saw no play. That's it. It was just dead on arrival. That's how powerful Magic is. I don't think Nimble Mongoose has seen play in Legacy for a very long time either. That was such a good card. One mana 3/3. That Shroud that you have to work for. That was fair. That was fair Magic back in the day. They don't make Magic like that anymore. Who? Beanpot has. Where's Beanpot? Where are you, Beanpot? Innocent Blood. Oh, by the way, I like Nimble Mongoose. I think that's great. I still think that the card is great. Innocent Blood, single black. Sorcery, each player sacrifices a creature. Absolute banger card. It was good back then. It's still good today. Multi-format all-star. Can be easily a 3-for-1. As long as you don't have a creature in play. Don't have a creature when you cast your Innocent Blood. So make sure you sacrifice something crappy then. Yeah, Innocent Blood definitely aged incredibly well. So you don't have to worry about, it doesn't target anything, makes people sack their creature anyway. You have Leyline of Sanctity, you have Shroud, you have Hexproof. Bam! Innocent Blood. You thought you could defeat everything, but you couldn't. I guess Innocent Blood is the type of card, which is why so many people hate Sacrifice. So they customize, build cards or play cards that say, you cannot make me sacrifice my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Tend to forget how many bangers there are in Odyssey. Oh, Odyssey it's a treasure trove. A treasure trove. My coffee crew. Unless you want to pop your own dudes, in which case it's all value. Pabno, donate to Toads. Where are you donating? The Nut Collector. One of your first rares. Nut Collector, the 6-mana 1/1 human druid. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Also Threshold. All squirrels get +2/+2 as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. At the beginning of your upkeep. So it's like a... I want to say this is like Awakening Zone for squirrels, but it costs like 6 mana. That's a hefty cost for a squirrel. But there are not that many squirrels in the game. On the other hand, you know what? We get Threshold. We get to buff up our squirrels. We're gonna have the Squirrel Army is going to be online. Oh, we have to get the Odyssey card. I like they changed the art. This feels more... I'm not entirely sure what Tom Bombadil looks like, but I want to say it looks like this. Looks like the Nut Collector. Tom Bombadil probably is a nut collector. Next up. Okay, who has no card? I'm looking out for the people with no card. Don't know if Michael got a card. Shadow Mage, Finkeltrader. We looked at that one. Nice name, though. For Ginka with Cephalid Scout. They scout around. Didn't age well. Not that it was good to begin. Not that it was good to begin with. It was bad. It was born bad, and it's still bad. The 2-mana 1/1 Cephalid Wizard with flying. Pay 3, sack a land, draw a card. I feel like there, you know, like, you look at a card like this and you feel like there's something there. Something is possible. But at the same time, no, there probably is nothing possible with this card. Nadim says, I personally can't wait for snow and cold weather to come on here. On the theme of weather, let's do Deluge. Deluge. 3-mana instant. Tap all creatures without flying. That's terrible. Oh, no, hold on. Tap all creatures without flying? Yeah, it's terrible. There's better cards. I mean, maybe for blue, it's not bad. Maybe for blue, it could be worse. Okay, we got Pacers Fan Forever. Thanks so much for the super chat. Seize the day. I don't think we did Seize the Day. This is a 4-mana. Let's go look at the OG. The 4-mana sorcery. Untap target creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. So we attack. We cast this thing. We get another one. So basically, 2 attacks in 1. You can flash it back. What is wrong with this card? This card looks insane. This looks like the quintessential commander card. I attack. Another one. I'm going to have another. It's basically Time Walk. You know, I mean, effectively for like red decks or even just for like commander decks in general, if you get like an extra combat step, it is as good as Time Walk or good as an extra turn spell. It's Time Warp. It's Time Warp with flashback on top of that. Only untaps 1 creature? Maybe I only need 1 creature. Man, that's all I need. You get it back in feather decks because it targets. Ah. Very cute around here. Shane, Wayward Angel. This is a 6-mana 4/4 flying. Attacking doesn't cause Wayward Angel to tap. Threshold, it gets +3/+3, is black. Is trample, and as at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. So we switch inside. These days, it would be just like a transform card. So like by today's standards, it's like, oh, if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, transform Wayward Angel into the evil angel of some sort. That's how it is. Pabno, thanks so much for your super chat. We got Cephalid Retainer. Still have a beat-up copy. Whatever happened to the Cephalids? I don't know. We didn't go back to Cephalids. They're also sort of cute, but they're also sort of squidly. Okay, this is a 4-mana 2/3 Cephalid. Pay 2. Sorry, pay a blue. Tap target creature without flying. Oh, that's awful. Oh, it's awful. It's awful in all everywhere. It's 4 mana for a 2/3. I gotta pay more mana. I can't even tap a flying creature. Cephalids have no power over the air. Nothing. Wayward Angel becomes Lord of the Pit. Sure, yeah. Cephalids are octopus now. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we're never gonna. Well, I mean, but we could still go back to the Cephalids, right? We could go meet the Cephalid kindreds. Go back to the world of the Cephalids. But yeah, there are, just to prove it, octopus. Honestly, didn't even know. I just thought it was like a squid. I honestly would have assumed squid. I would have looked at the Cephalid as squids, to be honest. Julian, have we done the Aven Wind Reader? We have now. Wind Reaver? This is definitely not from the set. Okay, Aven, Win. Oh, sorry, you said. I'm just gonna put WIN. See what pops up here. This looks like it's from. You know, I looked at the art and I'm like, that has to be from Odyssey. 5 mana for a 3/3 Bird Soldier Wizard flying. Pay 2 mana. Target player reveals the top card of their library. This is awful. It's just bad. It's a 5 mana 3/3 flyer. Not in this economy. Pacers Fan Forever. Thank you very much for your super chat. Deserted Temple. Busted in EDH. This came from Odyssey? I didn't know it was that old. Tap to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or you can pay 1 to tap untap target land. Untap your Nykthos, your Gaia's Cradle. You need more mana? There's your more mana. It's Candelabra of Tawnos at home. And it's affordable. And also didn't see it got reprinted in Modern Horizons 3 and saw no play. I like this card though. I think it's cool. It's a very cool card. Toilet Duck did Toilet Duck get nothing? I could have swore I gave Toilet Duck. It's so some of you regulars, I just assume you already have a card. Shelter. The Shelter. 2 mana for an instant. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Also draw a card. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice. Yeah, this is... I don't know if this is good or bad or not. Is there anything better? Not really. I mean, if you pay... It's basically the same effect for 1 mana. You're basically paying 1 mana to protect. You pay 1 mana to draw. Effectively. Kerfuff with Entomb. Entomb, it's a black instant. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. Oh yeah, this card is... I mean, it's just straight up broken. You know, they just recently started discussing that maybe they have to ban this card. Legacy players were debating, is it time to ban Entomb? Because graveyard shenanigans are getting out of control. Yeah, I mean, like, at some point, you got to start asking yourself, is 1 man on turn 1, is dumping a giant creature in your graveyard fair? And you know what, for the longest time, it was pretty balanced, and maybe we've now drawn a line. That we've gone too far. Science has basically busted this card. But whatever, they're going to hold on to it for a little while. I'm not entirely sure what the going... Oh, sorry, maybe it wasn't Entomb. Sorry, I think it was Reanimate. I'm an idiot. Okay, forget everything I just said. This card is still great, but I believe the actual card being debated in Legacy is Reanimate. I screwed that up. I'm an idiot. Okay, we've got Steve Cooper. Time Stretch. Especially win the game, and also especially win the game for 10. And Dono 10. Sorry, 2 for chat. Let's take a look at Time Stretch. The OG, 10 mana sorcery. Target player takes 2 extra turns after this one. I hope you lived long enough that you could play the damn thing. Tentative Orc Gaming says if they ban Entomb, then people will just go to gamble. I don't know what that means, but okay, sure. Okay, this card, it looks really good, but I mean, the price is right. If you spend 10 mana on something, it should be like something gigantically large and flashy. Shane says, don't blame you. Entomb and Reanimate is just busted. Yeah, I just got the wrong part of that card. It's the other half that was more important. All right, 2 cards to donate. We're gonna start with Pedgeman. Did we do Peak? We did not do Peak. Yeah, good old Gitaxian Probe. This is the legal Gitaxian Probe. Pay 1 blue. Instant speed. Look at target player's hand. Draw a card. It just shows the difference between Gitaxian Probe. Sorcery speed. Free. 0 mana. Broken. Banned everywhere. Peak. 1 blue. Just 1 mana. Instant speed. Does the same thing. Perfectly legal. In fact, doesn't see play. Nothing. No play whatsoever. Entomb is banned in pre-modern. Yeah, they banned everything in pre-modern. They're actually they've got the ban hammer at the ready. They have in pre-modern they've got their ban hammer in their hand at all times just in case. I don't think they've banned anything for a very long time, but they've done a very good job managing that format. Why would you target someone else and give them turns? Oh, you mean with Time Stretch? Target player. You never know when you need to help somebody. You never know. Don't worry, Nikachu. We are used to it, especially me and Toads. We are telling ourselves saving best for last. Oh, yeah. Gonna save the good stuff for last. Okay, we have a second card to give out. To Mellow, have we done... We did not do the Terravore. Very few cards are banned in pre-modern. Get at it! That's cap! That's absolute cap. They have Force Will banned for crying out loud. All right, Terravore 3 and the dual lands. They have all the dual lands banned in pre-modern. Terravore 3 mana for a star trample. It's Tarmogoyf at home. It's the OG Tarmogoyf. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of land cards in all graveyards. It only looks for lands. If only it was 2 mana. And it counted all card types in all graveyards. Then it'll be something. Then it could grow up to be something amazing one day. Okay, next super chat we got from Lord Trevor. Did you mention Mirari? Yeah, we mentioned Mirari. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Lord Trevor. Gotta be here on time. Get to know what everyone's done so far. Did everyone get a card now? I don't know if there's any no cards yet. Let's get... I think we did Filthy Cur, Julian. But I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't do Wonder! I can barely see this card. But here we go. I can see it now. It looks like a bird god. 4 mana, 2/2 flying. It's just an incarnation. Reminds me of those rich people on Squid Games. Flying. As long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Oh, you need the island too? I guess that's not too hard if you're playing with the blue card. It was preventing people from what's it called? Preventing people from just jamming these just for the sake of it, even without any blue in their deck. Oh, it's not Odyssey! Disqualified! You're right. It's got the scales. It's from that era, though. Okay, well, we're going to forget Wonder. No wonder no one mentioned Wonder all day. Okay, Crows and Beast from Christopher B. This is a 4 mana 1/1 Squirrel Beast? This is a squirrel? This is like R.L. Stein's squirrel. It drank some ooze or something. Threshold. Crows and Beast gets +7/+7. So until it's... Oh, I think I remember like drafting this card thinking it would be amazing. It was not amazing. It was terrible. Right, I guess I didn't build around it properly. Read the flavor text. Those who see the squirrels go underground in the winter aren't ready for what emerges in the spring. The squirrels get big. Or is this like a million squirrels taking the form of a giant squirrel? Okay, gaming. Did you get a card? Diabolic Tutor. Great budget tutor for Commander. Did it come from Odyssey? They reprinted Odyssey? They did not. Oh, no, they did! Huh? This is a list card. Is it somewhere else? Did I miss this card? Is there a second page? I don't see it here. So anyway, I can't tell if this card actually was printed. I mean, the card is fine. Tutor is a tutor. I can't find the original. I just see the list version. It's from the list. It's got the Odyssey symbol. It was printed in Odyssey. It was its first printing. Whoops. That's Cap! Oh, that's not Cap. No Cap. Okay, I'm an idiot. Sorry. Nikachu has looked stupid 4 times so far today. Let's make it. Let's go for 5. Pabno, beloved chaplain. This is a 2 mana cleric for 1/1. Protection from creatures. That's absolutely astounding for 2 mana. I would almost say it's broken, but it can like I guess it can just be killed by removal spells. It still sounds pretty good. I like it. It's it does something different. They could bring that back potentially, maybe. We got Nightmare Incarnation with Ceasefire. Nikachu has a case of the Mondays. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Mondays. That's my problem. Okay, 3 mana instant. Target player can't play creature spells this turn, and you get to draw a card. But I think even if you draw that card, this card is not that great overall. Summer Mermaid Star, we did Price of Glory. All of a sudden, the regulars are coming out. Everyone get off work or something. T. Corellius. Did we do the lands like Sungrass Prairie? We actually did not. We did a few lands. Just a few lands, but not a lot of lands. Oh yeah, is this the filter land cycle? Oh, it's the bad filter land cycle. They would improve the filter lands in the future, deep in the future. Land, pay 1, tap, add green, white to your mana pool. Question of Commander Play. Did these, I imagine these aged very well. If you can't afford dual lands, you go after these crappy lands. The problem with this land is that, like, if you have a 1-lander, it doesn't tap for land. It doesn't tap for any mana. You need another mana source in play to tap mana, pay the 1 colorless, and then filter it into, in this case, what's it called? Selesnya mana. It's the only way. They put these in precons. There we go. It's the gold standard. So you don't need dual lands. Dual lands from Revised, overrated. All right, $700. Screw that Underground Sea or Savannah. You need Sungrass Prairie. Sungrass Prairie is where it's at. It's cheap and it still basically does the same damn thing for 99% of situations. The Jaded. There were incredibly busted creatures of the era, like Voice of All, Flametongue Kavu. Did Flametongue Kavu come in this set? Flametongue. Was this Flametongue Kavu's debut? No, this was not a Kavu set. That was Invasion. Yeah, Was Spiritmonger that good? I remember when the community was making that card. I don't remember it like taking over anything like that. Hey, Summer Mermaid Star coming in late, but never, but just in time. Aven Flock. Five mana for a 2/3 flyer, and it gets +0/+1 until end of turn for each white that you pay for it. This is awful. Even in a bird deck, I'd never play this damn thing. Yeah, Flametongue. Oh, Flametongue was plane shift. Okay, same block though. You know what I mean? It got block it up. We did Price of Glory. David Sampson with Over Eager Apprentice. This is the 3 mana 1/2 human minion. Discard a card, sacrifice Over Eager Apprentice, add triple black to your mana pool. Too eager to sacrifice itself for a dark ritual. Is this? I want to say this is bad. I mean, I know you can store the mana for a future turn, but you're basically paying 3 mana to get 3 mana later, so it's like more of a storage counter than anything else. T. Corellis, Petrified Field. Get back Gaia's Cradle? So you're telling me you have a plan, T. Corellis. You got a plan. Tap, add 1 mana. Sorry, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Tap, sacrifice Petrified Field. Return target land card from your graveyard to your hand. So what you're telling me is people blew up your Gaia's Cradle. That's rude. That's very rude of them. Nikachu's whole life is Magic. He knows nothing else. I know a little bit of chess outside of Magic, yeah. I've gone down too deep of this rabbit hole. I eat, breathe, and play only Magic. I am a Magic-producing machine. That's a reverse strip. Yeah, the reverse strip mine. You've activated my trap card, the Petrified Field, for you blew up my Gaia's Cradle with strip mine, and I will bring it back. Oh, that goes right back to your hand. Okay, Toads. Chatter of the Squirrel. Definitely going to give you another squirrel card, Toads. I know how much you love the squirrels. You're a huge fan of squirrels. Green. Sorcery. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Flashback for 2 mana. It's embarrassing how bad this card is compared to, like, what, Chatter... Storm? Yeah, Chatter Storm. Create a 1/1 squirrel creature token, and it's got Storm. So you could flash this back for 1 squirrel, or if you like rattled off a bunch of squirrels at the same time, you can get like 1 billion of them. Millions of squirrels. We have more super chats. We got Tyler. Thanks so much for your super chat. The Seton Crozen Protector was the pack art. Seton Crozen. I wonder if they even knew back in the day what was going to be the good card, what was going to be the bad card. Green for a 2/2. The Centaur Druid Legend. Tap an untapped Druid you control to add green to your mana pool. I don't think the Druids aged very well, unfortunately. Roman. Spiritmonger was translated in German as Rohrender Relops. Rurend, meaning roaring. Reliops means nothing besides its spoiler if read backwards. It means nothing to me in English either. Pabno says, except you can use Chatter of the Squirrel to up your storm count first. Look at that. That's synergy from Pabno. Look at that. Chatter of the Squirrel. Make a 1/1 squirrel. Flashback. Then Chatter Storm. You're gonna make the army. The chattering army. The chattering army. Pedgeman, we did traumatize. Crystal Query. What is Crystal Query? Land tap for a colorless. 5 add Wooburg. It's like the most mega filter land of all time. Step aside, all you other dual color filter lands. Hold my beer. I'll filter all 5 colors at once. Just cost you 1 land drop. That's interesting. Okay, we got the thank you very much, Steve Cooper. The Volley of Boulders. That flashback cost, LOL, plus a donation. We have 9 mana sorcery. Deal 6 damage, divide as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. And flashback for 6 mana. I'm not playing this card. I don't recall this card seeing any play. Let's see the Odyssey version. It's just a lot of mana. It's like it's a big Timmy card. I can't wait to get to my 9 mana. Deal 6 damage to a creature or a player. But I can divide it. I can divide between 2 players at once. We did predict. We did do to predict. Should be a card like Chatter for Raccoons. Trash Talk. It's pretty cool. Okay, hold on. We have to give a donation. We'll give again to Shane's Zombify. It's pretty good mana for pretty good mana rate for Reanimate. 4 mana sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return target creature. This is terrible. I don't think it's that good. I mean, it doesn't cost you any life or anything, but 4 mana return something. You might as well just cast something for that much mana. For Ginka with Dogged Hunter. 3 mana for a 1/1. Tap, destroy target creature token. Wow, that is really putting it to the token players. It's basically, you make them feel like they have a target on their back. Tyler with am I pronouncing this right? The werebear? Ever since since pronouncing werewolves, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. Okay, we got the werebear. 2 mana for a 1/1. Now, if I remember correctly, this did see good play back then because it was like a mana rock. You tapped out a green mana, but if you did get the threshold, +3/+3 is not bad. All right, that was basically Tarmogoyf power. 2 mana for a 4/4 creature. Exercises his right to bear arms. Werebear? Okay, werebear? Okay, I'll take that. Why bear? What bear? How bear? Destroy the 30/30 token with the other creature. Gustav with Mind Slicer. Mind Slicer, the 4 mana 4/3 horror. When it dies, each player discards their hand straight to the graveyard. We all lose. The problem is with these types of cards, it needs to die. So what are you gonna do? Play it and then sacrifice it? Not very good value. Yeah, classic flavor text too. What is it? What's this one too? It is the thing that goes bump in the night. They have a lot of good flavor text back then. I don't know what it is. I don't feel that flavor text. I don't get that flavor anymore. The puns. They're going back on the pun. They're trying to bring the puns back. But they should have never left. We shouldn't have left. We did predict. I told you we did predict. I told you. Yeah, the when bear, why bear, the what bear. Nikachu is an AI snitch. T. Krellis, thanks so much for your super chat. Nimble Mongoose, better than the Bear Saw Legacy. That's correct. Nimble Mongoose did. But we did this card, right? You were there. Pretty sure you were there. We showed that Nimble Mongoose. Okay, we'll donate this. I think this card is still good by today's standards. New flavor text are Marvel quips. It is now. Oh yeah, it's gotten too lore specific and less punny. Yeah, they want to tell the story in the flavor text. Writing articles and books, that's not good enough. We gotta fill that valuable space. Well, they gotta just put more puns in the books too. Oh, Bella has no card yet. Let's do it. Standstill. Wow, how did we almost go through the whole show without Standstill? 2-mana enchantment. Whenever a player plays a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draw 3 cards. I love this card. I think it's really cool. Also, it's stood some test of time. I believe it sees some pre-modern play. Used to see a lot of legacy play. Now it doesn't. It's not really a whole lot of decks that can utilize this card very well. But anyway, it's 2 mana, draw 3, effectively. If you don't have to play anything else for the rest of the game. Best played in a deck that plays with the creature lands. So you put into play like Fairy Conclave and Mishra's Factory and so on. And you're going to attack with those things and force them. Put pressure on your opponent and eventually force them to cast a spell and make you draw 3 cards. I thought it was a really, really cool card. Benjamin Berkeley wants some redemption. Molten Influence. 2-mana instant. Can't target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller has Molten Influence. Deal 4 damage to them. That's terrible. You give them the choice. They'll take the 4 damage. Did you hear Nikachu is offering $30 to $50 for foil elephant ambush? Well, back in the day. We did Patron Wizard. Quick, you gotta be quick. We did Innocent Blood too. We didn't do who's the first that mentioned braids? I keep seeing braids every so often. I don't know who should we credit for braids. Okay, we'll do braids. Braids, Cabal Minion. Wizards of the Coast really need to bring back Band as a commander. Would you guys like to bring back Band as a commander? I sometimes wonder, like, how a lot of people not complain, they argue that you can't make the game any more complicated. You're making the too complicated for the players. And I'm like, this game comes out with new rules that break old rules all the time. Have you even heard of layers? Like, the game is constantly complicated. Like, you either know about the ban list or you don't. So anyway, Braids Cabal Minion, actually, I think stands the test of time. It's a good card. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks an artifact, creature, or land. Just random mage, you got some chance to get something in at the end of all this. Battle of Wits came here? Imagine opening this at your pre-release. It's useless. I don't even know if all the card, like, wait, you got 6 boosters back in the I think you got 6 boosters. Out of 6 boosters, how many cards? 15. 15 times 6. What is this? 90. It's useless. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 200 or more cards in your library, you win the game. It's just near damn impossible to pull off, that's all. Okay, we're going to finish off with just a random mage. What about Crystal Query? I tell you what about Crystal Query. Oh, we did that one. Sorry about that. Well, if you didn't get a card today, well, there's always next time. Because we do this show 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on weekdays. Thanks everyone who supports the channel. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you support the show with Super Chats. Either use Super Chat to be part of the show, or use Super Chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you very much, Coffee Crew, for being here today. For being the show, making the show what it is every day. People like Steve Cooper, Julian, Shane, Nightmare, Incarnations, Toads, Just a Random Mage. We got the Jaded, Benjamin Berkeley, Pedgeman, Old Boy, Gustav, Sternick. We got Christian, Pabno, David Sampson, Julio, Roman, Samurai, Bell. Who else? We have this person. Benjamin Berkeley, Kano, Christopher B, and Jess. You guys are the show. Thank you so much. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep bringing up those coffees, and we will keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.